They laughed at you, mocked you, told you what you could and couldn't do, and like a slave you obeyed. You listened, you bent your knee, dropped your head and swallowed their lies. You let them define your limits, you let them write your story, but that ends now. Enough. Enough playing weak, enough staying small, enough waiting for someone to tell you who you are. Because every second you stay in this pit, every moment you hesitate, you prove them right. They told you that you'd never be more than this, and with every excuse, every delay, every time you back down, you make them look like prophets. You've been controlled, conditioned, shaped into something soft, something predictable, something easy to manipulate. Society taught you to comply. Your so-called friends kept you comfortable. Your fears kept you caged. You gave them the pen, and they wrote your story for you. A story of mediocrity, a story of submission, a story where you were never the one in control. But listen to me, that story is over. The illusion is shattered, the chains are breaking. Right now, you are standing at the edge of something ruthless, something real. This is your choice. This is your moment. You either wake up or you stay asleep. You either rise or you rot, because make no mistake, this is the point of no return. If you turn back now, if you shut your eyes and pretend you didn't hear this, then you are lost. You are exactly what they said you were: weak, dependent, forgettable. But if you choose to fight, if you choose to reclaim what was stolen from you, if you choose to burn down every lie you ever believed, then everything changes. The past no longer defines you. Their words no longer own you. Their opinions no longer matter. If and when they see you again, they won't laugh. They won't mock. They won't even be able to look you in the eye, because you're not the same anymore. You're done bowing. You're done begging. You're done being controlled. This is the moment where you decide, do you rise or do you stay a slave? Decide right now. You've been played like a fool. They never respected you, never feared you, never saw you as a threat. And why would they? You made it easy. You gave them permission. You let them speak for you. You let them decide your worth. You let them mold you into something they could control. And you accepted it. Think back. Every time you silenced yourself to keep the peace. Every time you backed down to avoid conflict. Every time you swallowed your pride and told yourself, it's not worth it. That was the moment they won. Not through force, not through strength, but through your willingness to obey. You let them push you into a cage, and then you locked the door from the inside. And the worst part, they didn't even have to try. They knew you'd do it to yourself, because you were easy, weak, predictable. That's how they kept you in check, by feeding you the same poison they feed everyone. Be humble, be patient, be grateful for what you have. They trained you to accept less, to stay small, to stay silent, and you fell for it. But tell me something, when did playing nice ever give you power? When did obedience ever make you untouchable? It didn't, and it never will, because the ones who have power in this world, they don't wait for permission. They don't ask to be respected. They take it. Look around you. The ones who rise are the ones who refuse to kneel. The ones who win are the ones who reject the script they were given. The ones who become untouchable are the ones who decide once and for all that no one owns them. That's the truth, the cold, unforgiving truth. No sugarcoating, no false hope, no comforting lies. You were never free, you were never in control, but now you see it. Now you know, and once you know, you can never go back. Because now, the question isn't, can I break free? The question is, do you have the guts to burn it all down and rebuild yourself from the ground up? Look at yourself. Really look. Not the version you show the world. Not the mask you wear to pretend you have it all together. I mean the real you. The one you see in the mirror when no one else is watching. The one drowning in frustration. the one haunted by every opportunity wasted, every second lost, every time you hesitated when you should have gone all in. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Every morning you wake up and feel it. This weight in your chest, this pressure in your skull, that sick feeling in your stomach, knowing you're not who you should be, knowing you're wasting time, knowing you're falling behind, knowing well, guess what? It's time to be destroyed. Because that's the only way you get out of this. The only way you break free. There is no easy path, no shortcut, no magic formula. There is only one thing standing between you and the life you were meant for. You. Your weakness. Your fear. Your comfort. Your addiction to easy. Your acceptance of being average. That is your enemy. Not the world. Not society. Not your past. You made the excuses. You chose the comfort. You let them talk you into mediocrity. You did this. And until you own that, until you feel the full weight of what you've done to yourself, you will never change. This is the breaking point. Right here, right now. This is the moment you either face the truth or you keep running. But understand this, if you choose to run, you are making a decision. You are deciding to stay weak. You are deciding that your fears, your doubts, your hesitation, they all matter more than your future. And if that's who you are, then stop pretending, stop dreaming, stop hoping, because you don't deserve to win. But if there is even the slightest part of you that refuses to accept that, if there is even a fraction of your soul that still has fight left, then prove it. Not with words, not with plans, not with empty promises about one day. Prove it with action, because action is the only thing that matters. You can sit here and cry about how unfair life is. You can drown in regret. You can beat yourself up all day long about the past. But unless you get up and start fighting, none of that matters. Your pain doesn't make you special. Your struggle doesn't make you a warrior. What you do next is the only thing that counts. And right now, you have one choice. Fight or be forgotten. Burn every excuse. Burn every lie. Burn the weak version of yourself to the ground and let the flames forge something new, something untouchable, something undeniable, something that no one can ever control again. This is the moment. This is the line. You either cross it or you stay behind and rot. You died, so here you are, standing in the wreckage of every lie you've ever told yourself. No more illusions, no more stories, no more pretending. You've seen the truth, the cold, unforgiving truth, and it burned, it cut deep, it left scars, but you're still here. You didn't run, you didn't hide, you stood there and took it. And that means one thing: you are not broken. Understand this. If you were truly weak, you would have turned away. If you were beyond saving, you would have made an excuse and walked back into the shadows. But you didn't. You stayed. You faced yourself. And now you are waking up. Because real strength is not about never falling. It's about getting back up. Again and again and again. Until you are untouchable. This is your turning point. This is the moment where you stop seeing yourself as a victim, where you stop blaming the past, stop whining about what's fair, stop looking for an easy way out, because nothing will ever be given to you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you power. You take it, or you stay weak. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep looking in the mirror and seeing the same pathetic version of yourself, the one who hesitates, the one who overthinks, the one who's too afraid to step into the fire and be reforged? Or are you going to become something else? Because that version of you, the disciplined, relentless, unstoppable force, that version is waiting. And the only thing standing in the way is the old you, the version that let fear make decisions, the version that sought comfort over conquest, the version that would rather feel good than be great. That version, bury it. No ceremony, no mourning, no looking back. Just take everything weak, everything soft, everything pathetic, and burn it to the ground. Because the second you stop making excuses, the second you stop hesitating, the second you fully commit, you become dangerous. And that is what they fear. Not the version of you that second guesses, not the version of you that hesitates. They fear the version of you that doesn't stop. The version that keeps swinging, keeps moving, keeps rising, no matter what gets thrown in the way. The version that refuses to die, that's what you're becoming. A weapon, a force of nature, a mind so sharp, so disciplined, so focused that nothing, not doubt, not fear, not failure, can break you. And once you reach that level, they can't touch you anymore. They can't manipulate you. They can't break you. They can't even understand you, because while they are waiting for motivation, you are moving. While they are making excuses, you are executing. While they are hoping, wishing, begging for change, you are taking it. This is your turning point. You either embrace it, or you go back to your chains. Choose. You've come too far to stop now. You've walked through fire. You've burned your weakness to ash. You've stood face to face with every fear, every failure, every excuse. And you didn't flinch. You didn't run. So tell me, why would you ever go back? Why would you ever let yourself be controlled again? Why would you let doubt creep back in, let fear take the wheel, let hesitation steal another second of your life? You wouldn't, because now you understand the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you anything. The world doesn't care how hard it is, how tired you are, how unfair your circumstances might be. And that's exactly why you have to take what's yours. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more talking about what you're going to do. Action, ruthless, relentless, unstoppable action. That's all that matters now, because the second you stop moving, you lose. The second you start hesitating again, you let weakness back in. And you didn't fight this hard just to fall back into the same pathetic cycle. That version of you is gone. The version that needed approval, dead. The version that waited for motivation, gone. The version that let fear dictate their path, buried. You have one mode now. Forward. No hesitation, no retreat, no mercy for the old version of yourself. Because every time you push forward, every time you keep going when most people would quit, every time you take another step, when everything inside you is screaming to stop, you prove them wrong. You prove to the world, to the doubters, to the ones who said you couldn't, but most of all, you prove it to yourself. Because that's the only battle that ever mattered. It was never about proving them wrong. It was never about making them respect you. It was about this moment. The moment you realized that you don't need their approval. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You move because you said so. You rise because you decided to. You win because you refuse to accept anything less. And now you are untouchable, not because you don't feel pain, not because you don't struggle, but because no matter what happens, nothing stops you. They can doubt you, they can try to hold you down, they can throw every obstacle in your way, and it won't make a difference because you will outwork them, outlast them, outfight them. They can't break you, they can't shake you, they can't control you, and the best part, they know it. That's why they fear you now, because the moment you stopped caring about their opinions, their limits, their expectations, you became something they can't understand. A force of nature, a storm, a fire that cannot be put out, and that is why you will win. No matter how many times you fail, you get back up. No matter how much doubt tries to creep in, you shut it down and take the next step. This is your life. This is your time. And the weak version of you, the one that hesitated, the one that played small, the one that lived in fear, is never coming back. You are an unstoppable force now. And the world, it will never be able to control you again. So now you know why they tried to control you. You know why they tried to break you. You know why they fed you lies, kept you weak, made you doubt yourself. Because a mind that is controlled is easy to predict, easy to manipulate, easy to own. But you don't belong to anyone anymore. You are no longer a slave to their opinions, no longer a puppet to their expectations, no longer chained by fear, by doubt, by hesitation. So, what's next? That's the question, isn't it? Because now, there's no one left to blame. No more excuses. No more hiding behind circumstances. It's all on you. Every decision, every action, every move you make from this moment forward, it's yours. And that's where most people fall. Because this is the moment they realize freedom is terrifying. No orders, no instructions, no one telling them what to do, just the weight of their own potential. The crushing realization that they are responsible for every failure, every success, every second of their own life. And it's easier to run back to the comfort of excuses, back to the safety of being controlled, back to the lie that says, it's not my fault, it's not my responsibility, it's just the way things are. But that is not an option for you, not anymore. You've seen too much, you know too much, and if you walk away from this, if you turn your back and pretend you never heard these words, if you slip back into that life of weakness and regret, it will haunt you. Every time you hesitate, every time you make an excuse, every time you let fear win, you will hear these words and you will know that you had a choice to rise or to stay weak, to take control or to be controlled, to build yourself into something unstoppable or to crumble under the weight of your own excuses. There is no in between. No middle ground, no second chances. You either become something they can never break, or you let them own you forever. Decide, because after this moment, you can never claim ignorance again. You either step into the fire and become the unshakable force you were meant to be, or you turn away, knowing you chose to stay weak. But understand this, if you go back, don't you dare complain. Don't you dare whine about your life, about your circumstances, about how things aren't fair, because you had a choice, and you knew the price. So what's it going to be? Rise, or stay weak?